Hi, Tim Evans here with Tim Talks. Welcome back. Come on outside, pull up a chair, relax, make yourself at home. Today, let's have a conversation about the relationship between our emotions, expectations, and investing. Obviously, life is filled of feelings, it's filled of moments, and it's full of emotions. It doesn't matter whether it's our personal life, our professional life, our financial life, how we look at world events, doesn't matter. It's emotional. So is our money and investing, very emotional. When life is changing rapidly, our choices and the decisions that we make become amplified. So we want to try and find a place of a foundation, a base of being even killed, not euphoric at the top, not panicky or antsy at the bottom. So how do we do that? How do we stay even keel from a financial standpoint? I think one of the ways we can do that is to go back and look at history. A lot of times, the further you go back and look at history, the further that you're going to be able to see ahead. Because we know some days it's going to be Formosa azaleas, cardinals calling, bees buzzing around, sunshine, warm summer breezes starting to come in. Other days it's going to be rain and thunderstorms and hurricanes. So how do we stay even keel? From a financial standpoint and investing standpoint, we know that good financial records go back to 1802. Thomas Jefferson was president. We know that since 1802, that stocks have had results, mainstream stocks, we'll call it the S&P 500, the top 500 publicly traded companies in the United States. We know that mainstream stocks since 1802 have had results on average of 7 percentage points per year above the cost of living, above inflation. So that's one way out of eggs are high, milk is high, bread's high, gas is high. Yes, they all are. Mainstream stocks is one way that you can get outside of that. It's a path to get outside of increases in the cost of living. Since 1802, we know that mainstream stocks have had results of double of what bonds have had. We also know that ownership of stocks bounces around. It's not a straight line. And so here's what we should expect by looking back at history to be able to look further ahead. On an annual basis with our investments of owning something like the top 500 publicly traded companies in the United States, there are expectations, reasonable expectations, should be that within the year that we experience about 15% bouncing around within the year. On a 3 to 5 year basis, we should expect bouncing around of somewhere around 20%. Could be within the year, could last a little bit longer. Every 5 to 10 years, we should expect bouncing around of somewhere in the neighborhood of 30% or more. Not fun. I get it. I understand it. I empathize and sympathize with you on the bouncing around. Not fun for any of us. Here's something that I would like to just make an example out of. Let's go back to 2020 during the COVID pandemic. From February the 19th to March the 23rd, the S&P 500 declined 34 percentage points. Again, not fun for any of us. But check this out. If you just would have held tight, if you would have started the year off on January the 1st, end of the year at December the 31st, the S&P 500 was up over 18.5%. 18.5%. But from February the 19th to March 23rd, it fell 34%. So all the bouncing around within the year, sometimes we have to experience the bouncing around within the year to be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor just by sitting tight for the entire year. It's not going to always happen like that, obviously. That's just a great example. Here's, I think, how to look at this thing on average over a long period of time. We keep our emotions in check. We set realistic expectations, reasonable expectations. When life is changing rapidly, the choices and the decisions that we make from a financial planning, a retirement planning, and investment management standpoint, the choices and the decisions that we make are likely that we make better choices, better decisions, and it's more likely that we have better outcomes because of staying even keel. Not euphoric at the top, not panicky at the bottom, even keel. Thank you for your time today. Appreciate you watching Tim Talks. Remember, when you're planning for retirement, you're not riding off into the sunset, you're riding to watch the sunset. I'll see you there. Cheers.